There they are, two girls donning military gear, making their way across the remnants of humanity that the audience is left to believe was self-inflicted. As the lonely wasteland spans beyond our eyes, there's no shaking the feeling of loneliness and isolation that our two main characters, Chito and Yuri, must surely feel. It's thanks to this constant sense of isolation that the anime can delve into its reflective ponderings on various human ideas and facets of society in the form of the girls' curious guesses on the past of humanity. On the other hand, the somber world is still able to house the entertaining mishaps as these two continue on their trip without destination. The mix of rhetorical discussions about the nature of humans went surprisingly well with cute anime girls, I'd have to say. And the dialogue plays no small role into helping this mix. It's hard enough to write for several characters so that they provide relevant, meaningful input into the work, but when the majority of your running series only features two, it means that their interactions are that much more important, since that's the majority of the show. Fortunately, the pair do little to disappoint in the way of entertainment. Even if there is a fairly simple contrast between the sharpshooting carefree Yuri and the more deliberate, albeit reluctant, Chito, which helps develop two separate perspectives to the world around us. The audience ends up enjoying the idle chatter that the two have because it's both entertaining and insightful to the characters and problems that they face. As the series continues, it's clear that the two can also come to represent the two sides of humanity. Yu is the optimistic, gung-ho champion of risk-taking in the hope of achievement, while Chi is the reserved, cautious voice that urges carefully made decisions, and which is reinforced by a curiosity of the past, especially in former human civilization. Even as the two trek through the skeleton of humanity, it still seems vaguely inviting, since there's an unshakable feeling of people that are out there. Even if they have the traces of human existence, both malicious and glorious, it can't even begin to describe the complexity that goes into a real person. That's why the relatively regular guest to the girl's journey would be something that I look forward to. Since there was only one episode for the audience to learn all they could about this person, it was a refreshing change from the usual banter of the girls, and added another dimension in the dialogue. But the most important thing that these people would give is perspective. Whether or not it was physically manifested, like with Kanazawa's camera, or carried within their memories, like the one single fish and its robotic caretaker, it shifted their behavior and pattern in relation to the world. In short, they learned. Not saying that there were other moments that they gained knowledge that helped them survive, but the moments that added to their characters would be with these people. It's significant because they could learn firsthand all the endeavors, successes, failures, and darkness of humanity. Taking the girl's stay in the aquarium as an example, they learned of and rejected the rigid calculating logic that's characteristic of bureaucracies that are normal in today's society in the name of sympathy for their fellow fish friend. They also learned of man's pursuit for the sky, even with the form that we have. That in the face of limitations, the ability to ponder and foresee certain outcomes, and then acting accordingly to shape a favorable one, will be what one would call working for the sake of the future, or hope. But their ideal future would most likely be a limitless supply of food, a warm place to shield them from the cold, and an occasional bath. It's ultimately a desire to satisfy biological needs, which is of course important, but they have no idea of the time before them where all these needs were met. And when people don't have to hunt or grow their food, or watch out for dangers on the horizon, they're free to learn whatever captures their attention, and share that with others. That's the start of culture, something that Yu and Chi have only speculated on, as they try to answer the puzzling relics that others have left behind. The camera, which they gained from Kanazawa, ends up being their way to look back on memories left behind by its various owners. As the files from the memory device pile on, the girls eventually stumble onto pictures and videos of picture before the apocalypse, and they witness what humanity was like in silent awe. The clips are often brief and unconnected, since it seems that this camera has been through many owners, but yet they can't stop watching the amazing spectacle that is the human experience. Both the mundane parts, like schoolgirls messing around in their after-school club, the happier parts, such as new parents documenting their first child, a group singing around a campfire, and even the darker parts, like a funeral and the declaration of war, all play on front of them in a vast array of panels, and the sheer amount of information nearly overwhelms them. As you said, it's just been the two of us for a long time, but once you find out people used to live like this, I kinda feel less lonely. It's with that same line of thinking that's kept me interested in this show. I was fascinated in seeing the day-to-day life of two girls as they try to continue whatever existence in these silent wastes. When I watched them on their journey, I felt as if I was a fellow traveler that would follow them through bombed out buildings and dried out fields. With its strangely comfortable backgrounds and cute main characters, Girls Last Tour is a unique angle in the apocalyptic setting by showing how there would be people that would be just fine with the apocalypse and getting along with the accompanying hopelessness.